What's going on, guys? It's Chev. By the way, thank you guys for all the love and support on the videos recently. Been gaining a whole lot of new subscribers. We're actually closing in on 4 million subscribers. By the way, don't ask me what the fuck I'm doing for it. I used to do like special things for these milestone videos and stuff, but I'm so invested in so much right now, I can't even possibly try to think of what I did between 3 to 4 million. It makes my head want to explode. Regardless, for all of you that have shown up over this time, just thank you so much for being here on this terrible, terrible journey. But thank you for being here with me and experiencing it with me. It makes it a whole lot easier, I'll say that. So I forgot to show you guys yesterday, but I ended up unlocking the Damascus Fin LMG, or the chainsaw, or adverse, or rapid fire, or whatever LMG you want to call this thing. This is the Fin LMG. This is the basically minigun, the chainsaw, you know, thing. I got it, you know, Damascus right here and everything. Now, obviously, I'll unlock Obsidian for this thing later. It'll probably be the last one that I do, to be honest. It'll probably be one of the easiest ones to do. It's 150, so instead of needing 200, I only need 150 as well. But yeah, that'll probably be the last one that I'm gonna get to. So, last night I also ended up finishing out the Obsidian Ram. You can see it right here. The Ram wasn't so bad in hardcore, the way that I was building it. I was basically building all of these guns like HEADPHONE SMGs and stuff. Speaking of that, look how stupid this shit looks. This is a class setup I've been using on shipment here with the Growl. I don't really need to do it this way. It's kind of ridiculous, a little over the top. Don't really need this barrel or anything like that. Definitely could choose other things, but this is just what I've been running. I think this thing is adorable. So I am running the world's cutest little Growl right now. I stay off Twitter for a reason, man, but you see some shit on here. I'm watching people talk about parenting tips and people calling people's brains wet dog food. Like, there's a video going around of a mom trying to teach her kid how the fuck to count his ducks. Dude, all I'm saying is, when I was a kid, if I had my parents or my teachers or anybody like that, and by the way, this is not me as an adult trying to tell younger people to, you know, go and talk shit and disrespect their teachers and all this stuff. I'm not trying to tell people to do that. I have so many people that bring up my old videos and shit back when I was in school or some shit, or recently was in school where I still was reflecting on all this shit. The number one thing that I would do, that if I was sitting here trying to figure out a problem, I'm already frustrated, right? Number one, I don't actually give a single fuck about what the answer to this problem is. You understand? I do not care. So when you start getting angry and frustrated, I care even less now. I mean, what are you gonna do? Force the answer out of me? How? If I don't know it, how? The teachers or whoever it is that's trying to teach me this kind of shit, I didn't bring this stuff home to my grandparents to try to get them to figure it out. They're like fucking 3 generations ahead of me. No offense, Grandma. I was a very, very defiant kid as far as it went with like orders and shit like that. I didn't physically threaten anybody. I didn't do any shit like that. I simply would just not do the things they were trying to tell me to do if I didn't want to do them. It's that simple. Make me. If you're gonna sit here and be frustrated and basically be frustrated at my lack of understanding, it is what it is. Don't give me a fucking attitude if you don't want back. Now, you can call this childish or whatever it may be, and sure, yeah, it is. But I was a child. I don't know if I have ever ran into anybody that has ever built a miniature Growl or a mini Growl SMG or whatever. I've never seen anyone use this little barrel here. Did you guys know that the Growl had a little miniature barrel that comes with a grip like an RPK barrel? Is this the only small barrel in the game that has a grip attached to it? I haven't seen any stats or anything done on this thing. I mean, maybe I could look it up. It's probably in some Growl videos or some shit like that. But is this grip basically like the Merc foregrip? Oh yeah, and by the way, I saw a J-God's video actually. Apparently the Merc foregrip ended up getting a stealth change, even though technically its earlier stealth change or whatever it was, technically I don't think was actually intended. So obviously the Merc foregrip reduces our recoil a whole bunch. It also gives us some hip fire. It tightens up the hip spread so all of those, you know, shots are a bit more consistent if you're just firing from the hip or whatever. So that combination of the two of them was already strong, okay? Before we even knew about the extra bonus that it actually brings, because it has one. For a lot of the style of the multiplayer gameplay and stuff, having that extra hip fire on top of the fact that it does do the best job recoil-wise, it was just way better than everything else. But it had a hidden stat where you would actually get movement speed as well. A small amount of movement speed, it's like 3%, 4%, something like that, but you would get a movement speed bonus for it as well. So, yeah, the thing was just completely GA. There was just all the different reasons to get rid of it. But now, apparently, that movement speed buff is gone, or the hidden buff or whatever, it's gone. So, I'm not really sure what people are going to be running now. I feel like on SMGs and stuff, the Merc foregrip is probably still the best. That's what J-God also would suggest. But look at it. This thing is so cute. Look. It's mind-blowing to me that this little thing has this little grip on it. I love it. Now, given this thing sucks, okay, I'm using it in hardcore. It feels like it's minimum 2 bullets to kill people at all times, even when I am shooting them in the head. I don't think it actually is, but it feels that way. That's the worst part about it. It just feels not good. Does it feel Holger bad? You know, surprisingly, building an SMG Growl somehow feels better than a fully kitted Holger. Or more so, it kills better anyway. I wouldn't say feels better. This thing bounces around like shit. This little barrel, whenever it's like bouncing all over the place, it really bounces to the left and right for whatever reason, and that's not usually an issue you would run into with the ground. Now, given in hardcore, your overall accuracy literally just doesn't really matter, but just to toy around with it a little bit, I guess. I've even contemplated doing like really stupid little things, like playing solos, but like run like an SMG M4 or something. Just little things that people don't run. I just want to do really stupid class setups, but I can't play the game long enough to actually keep myself happy and entertained. Maybe when I'm finished with this, that whole thing will be a lot more appealing and fun sounding, but make a bunch of SMG ARs or try to build SMGs in like really weird ways. I don't know. 'Cause every weapon is usable. The fact that everyone's using the same exact things with the most min-max setups, so that's why it makes all of these other classes that are considered not good, just not good. They're not good in comparison. For example, the recoil back on Black Ops 1, since we're talking about Cold War and shit too recently, the FAMAS back on that game, it was fully auto back on Black Ops 1, and it was considered the best gun in the game, but it had some of the most ridiculous and overdone recoil in Call of Duty history. The recoil on the thing was ridiculous, but it didn't matter because it fired so quickly that it didn't matter how many bullets you were spraying all over the place, because the time to kill and the fire rate and everything was just so forgiving and so much better than the other weapons. It's one of the worst in the recoil category, but it's so strong that it literally doesn't matter. People used it then, so imagine now that people are allowed to have the gunsmith where they're able to build like the ultimate range, no recoil kind of gun with near infinite possibilities and stupid combinations that make very, very small differences between each other. Like the difference between running compensator and commando foregrip versus stabilizer and merc foregrip or something like that. What's the difference between the two of them? Both of them technically do the same things, but they do kind of have a different result. One of them you get more stabilization, the other one you get more recoil control, but ultimately with the combination of the two, the shots end up looking the same. I don't know where the fuck I'm going with this stuff, but basically all I'm saying is, yeah, I want to win some solos and shit with like SMG Grau. Why not? The mini Grau. Not gonna use it for distance. I'll use a sniper rifle for that, and then everything else, it's like medium slash closer-ish range. Unless you run into an MP5, then it doesn't really matter whether you hit your shots or not. You probably lost. I've also been trying to figure out the best course of action for solos. Is it better to actually have my silencer on at certain points in the game? Like, for example, in mid-game and stuff, I kind of want people to push me. But there are other times where, obviously, I wouldn't want people to push me, or I'm not equipped enough to push me. I was always running the suppressor, but I'm starting to think, like, maybe if it works anything like free-for-all, which I played a whole bunch of during MW2, MW3, Black Ops 2, stuff like that. I played a lot of free-for-all on those, and by not having a silencer in those modes, you kind of, you wait people to come to you by showing up on the radar, you know? So I'm starting to think, like, maybe if I'm just really loud, obnoxious, people know where I'm at, maybe they'll come fight. Now, the issue is obviously I'm gonna get shot a lot more, third-partied a lot more, things like that. If I can't finish engagements faster, I'm gonna, you know, just get shot in the back. But the Fin was one of the easiest things I've ever unlocked Damascus for. It truly is one of the easiest things ever. I love this thing. I don't really mess with LMGs that much. Like, I never really cared for, but that LMG is actually really fun. Got a new Shadow Tracer pack. Got Shadow Realm Tracer rounds, Zodiac barrel on there. There's also the Shadow rounds on an MP5. I mean, that's pretty cool. So yeah, Zir's got this crazy looking skin, really. I mean, skin in there that had like the flaming axe or whatever. I was actually gonna make a video on that flaming axe. I mean, technically I still could. I haven't seen that many people talking about it that much, but there's a flaming axe secondary that you can put on that you can run around, and it obviously just has fire and stuff on here. Compete in the current trial and try to score bronze, silver, and gold for your region. Maybe I'll spend a little bit of time doing this. Let me know if you guys want to see a video of this Games of Summer shit. I don't really know how cool it'll be, but why not? Fuck it.